Hi, and welcome back to the Ziggy Zone. Can you believe it? It's March already. I mean, it feels just like yesterday was December and now we're in March. That means spring training for the MLB, so that's Major League Baseball. All of the teams are going back to their training camp locations and preparing themselves for their preseason and ultimately the start of the baseball season. That's exciting. Woo! Team Giants over here defending a World Series champion. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen down in Arizona. But shifting gears from Major League Baseball to the NBA, a lot of exciting things happened. It's been 2 weeks since All-Star. The playoff picture is really starting to solidify. In the East Coast, those teams that are around 23 to 25 wins, trying to see which team can actually get the win so that they can, secure a 7th or 8th spot. Also with some teams, they're slowly going down, especially a team like the Bulls, who they recently lost Derrick Rose for the rest of the season. So a lot of good stuff happening out east. In the West, can the Warriors maintain their top spot? Memphis is about 4 games behind. So that'll be interesting to see, come the middle of March, the end of March, excuse me, what the playoff picture looks like for come the postseason. I'm really excited. There are a lot of good things coming out of the NBA. And then there are also some not so good things. In the last week of February, or Black History Month, 2 well-known, well-respected, great NBA players departed this side of eternity. The first being Earl Lloyd, who was the first African American to ever play in an NBA game. And then the second was Anthony Mason. Anthony Mason was a little bit younger. He was really known for his days in New York under Pat Riley. So we're going to just circle back to Earl Lloyd. He was 86 when he passed, and he was from Virginia, and he did a great job down with the College of West Virginia, actually leading them to 2 CIAA championships. For me, the CIAA championship conference is sort of like to my roots. I attended a school that was a CIAA that's in the CIAA currently. Shaw U, and our girls. I'm not sure what happened this year, but our girls typically always win, or they're winning a lot. Our girls basketball team, that is. I'm sorry. Our boys, they will go. They don't always do so well, but that aside. Just woot to the CIAA, and it's nice to know that there are players that can come from, these historically Black colleges and these smaller conferences and make an impact at the larger level, especially in the NBA, where you're supposed to most notable players either come straight out of high school, one of those high school programs, or they go to one of the bigger colleges. So Earl Lloyd definitely led his team with the West Virginia State in 1949 and 1950 to 2 CIAA championships. He was drafted in 1950 by the Washington Capitals. So, that makes sense. Capitals, Washington. They've had several name changes, and then also the transition of the NBA as well. And he became the first player to actually play in a game on Halloween of 1950. So that's really exciting, to really be the first person. You talk about a trailblazer in a league where you talk about the 50s, definitely racial tension, definitely just civil rights, and it was just a difficult time, and yet he was able to break into that, and now you have a league that is predominantly African American. So we definitely want to send our condolences and our love and respect to the family of Earl Lloyd. He is survived by his wife, 3 children, and a couple grandchildren. So, much respect to that family. Anthony Mason, he was younger, like I said, and he was credited with his heyday was really with the New York Knicks during the Patrick Ewing era. So you talk about that mid '90s type of mid '90s type. And actually in 1995, I believe, he was the Sixth Man of the Year. And we know the Sixth Man of the Year is like, it's a nice an award to have. You know, it says that we have our starting five. And if our starting five, you know, if maybe one person can't play, you can fill in. It also says that when you come off the bench, you're like the go-to man, always consistent, like, you know. So the Sixth Man of the Year, the award, to me is sort of a prestigious award, you know. So players like Lamar Odom, you know, he is a recipient of that award. Manu Ginobili, he's a recipient of the Sixth Man award, as well as J.R. Smith. So, I mean, you talk about really good quality players. The Sixth Man award is definitely one to be, you know, feel proud of. Anthony Mason, he also was elected into the 2001 All-Star, so he definitely, you know, and once again that was I think when he was back with Pat Riley in Miami. And so he had filled in for Alonzo Mourning, who at the time Alonzo had kidney issues, medical issues with his kidneys. And so he really made an impact with that Miami team in the early 2000s. Unfortunately, Anthony Mason Jr., he had a massive heart attack on Friday. On Saturday, February 28th. And so they, unfortunately, you know, being rushed to the hospital, congenital heart failure. They were not able to resuscitate him, and unfortunately, he's no longer here with us. He has survived. He has 2 sons, both playing basketball. One at the collegiate level, one, I believe, in the D League right now. And so once again, we want to send, you know, our heartfelt condolences and prayers for the family of Anthony Mason as well. You know, losing a parent, a family member, brother, uncle, it's never easy. And so, you know, in the case of Anthony being 48 years old, and I'm sure in relatively good health, it was unexpected. So we definitely want to keep those 2 families lifted in prayer. One thing I want to go back, we might know Anthony Mason from Eddie. You guys remember Eddie with Whoopi Goldberg, right? He was in there playing himself, because remember, Eddie won the shooting contest in the movie and got to coach the Knicks. So that was just, you know, if you're having a hard time processing who Anthony Mason is, think the movie Eddie with Whoopi Goldberg. So that aside, my apologies once again. Send our condolences to those 2 families, the families of Earl Lloyd and the family of Anthony Mason. Just a quick update as far as injury reports, because we are talking about the NBA and we are talking about playoffs. Paul George, the one I say who has the lips like Juicy from the PJs, you know, super. I swear my lips are kind of thin, so that's why I can't do it. But Paul George, like, if you go Google the PJs and then Google Paul George, you'll see that he has very similar lip structure to Juicy from the PJs. No shade at all. I just find that to be really adorable. Anywho, Paul George, he's practicing again. We remember last year when he was trying out for Team USA, he literally, it was a clean break, but literally broke his leg. It wasn't an ankle, it was an upper something or lower something. I don't know. Google it. Even still, it was just, I mean, he took it like a thug. He took it like a G. I think he's from LA, so that might be why he took it like a G like that. Or just Google it. It was awful. It was such an awful break. And the fact that he is even practicing is amazing to me. I guess, clean breaks are easier to heal. But my gosh, that break looked awful. I mean, he was in a boot for some time. And Paul George, don't rush yourself, please. Please, we want to see you out on the court. But that injury, that break looked awful. So please, I know that you want your guys to make the playoffs, and right now they're not looking too hot. Stevenson left, you got injured. But I'd rather see you be like 100% and play next season versus 80 or 90% trying to play this season, because that break is just, to this day, I just can't even imagine it. Google it if you want to know what I'm talking about. And then Russell Westbrook, his parents just renewed their vows over the weekend. Oh, that's so cute. But on Friday, he didn't Joe Johnson break his face, but his face, like, it's something like in this area, a bone got fractured. He was, I think, like elbowed or something like in the game against the Portland Trailblazers by one of his teammates. So it was definitely an accident, but it just fractured a bone somewhere in his face. He had surgery. It is apparently surgery did well according to all the reports, and so he'll be reevaluated this week. OKC, I know they're trying to make their position in the playoffs, so I can imagine with KD, Kevin Durant being out, why they would really want Russell to come back. But you really don't want to risk further injury. It's not football, but you never know. Hands go flying, bodies go flying, so you don't really want to risk him, getting hit in the face or something like that, causing further damage. So, their medical team they're going to, evaluate and do what they need to do for Westbrook. But nevertheless, his surgery went well, and, he definitely should return before, obviously before the end of the season, but, in the next couple of days, weeks, if need be. So that's looking good on the injury report. And that's pretty much it. That's all we have for you today. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next week. Ciao, Bella.